Several businesses and residential customers served by Flow were left disconnected today after vandals destroyed critical equipment belonging to the telecommunications company.
And we're now joined by the Senior Manager of Government and Regulatory Affairs at Flow, Charles Douglas, to give an update with this situation. Good evening, Mr. Douglas, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening to you both, and good evening to all your listeners.
If you can give us an indication in terms of what exactly was damaged.
In our New Kingston facilities, the transport layer of the network was damaged. Fibers cut and ports damaged. The transport layer is responsible for data, video, internet, voice traffic, as opposed to the access layer where customers access the network from. It was wanton, it was malicious, and we anticipated that it would take us 12 hours to restore the network, which gives you an idea how extensive it was.
And if you could for us, please, could you talk to us about the impact?
I think that's the untold story, right? In the age of digitization, in the age where businesses rely on the internet, commercial organizations, banks, and New Kingston is one of our preeminent commercial centers, to strike at the heart of the network, to bring it down. And yes, residential customers were also affected, but it's the dislocation of businesses, it's the lack of reliability, the sense of can we depend on this network, as well as just a lot of cost, not to mention the actual restoration of the network, and to be replacing elements in the network over and over and over again, not because of age, not because of just maintenance, but because somebody intentionally sets out to prevent the rest of the community from getting the service. They didn't steal anything. There was nothing for them to benefit from except to bring down the network. And this has happened over and over again.
And these cables were underground, just to be clear.
This is true, right? This is true. So we can't harden all of the network underground, but we do our best. We put critical infrastructure underground. It's protected by secure manholes and the rest of it. Can't discuss all of the measures we have in place. But what is clear is that the penalties for doing this isn't a sufficient deterrent for these perpetrators, not yet at least. And I think we have to keep going until we send a national message that Jamaica will not tolerate it. The critical infrastructure is vital to its development and progress, whether it be electricity, whether it be telecommunications and water. And we have to get to a place where it's just absolute zero tolerance for anybody that infringes on the network.
Sir, you said that it will take about 12 hours roughly to restore the damaged equipment. What is likely to happen tomorrow? Are we still going to see disgruntled customers outside banks, etc.?
It is expected tomorrow it will be restored.
And finally, about how much does it cost the company to continuously restore its infrastructure when things like these happen?
Millions of US dollars over time, right? This has been a long-standing problem. Improved in spots, deteriorated in spots. Now, we were of the view at one point that people were stealing copper and they had some commercial interest. Now the network is entirely fiber and it has gotten worse. So we will keep going, and we will restore. We'll continue to invest. We're recovering from Hurricane Melissa. It's really heartbreaking to be distracted by these kind of outages when you really want to deploy people elsewhere to bring up back the network. But Flow will keep going, and we affirm our commitment to the country. We'll continue to invest. We are the largest investor in the networks, and we will continue to do that and work with government and other stakeholders to mitigate this menace, and with a view to conquering it one day.
All right, thank you so much. That was Charles Douglas, Senior Manager, Legal and Regulatory Affairs at Flow, Jamaica.